Aloha.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
I'm Pat.
And we're from Finding Aloha. So recently we had our first real hurricane scare. Hurricane Lane was projected to come right through the south of Oahu. We are on the south side of Oahu. We are at Kehi Lagoon. We learned a lot with this being our first hurricane scare, and we wanted to share with you our tips and tricks for preparing for a hurricane.
We by no means know everything about it. It was our first time, so we did the best that we could. So we're just going to show you what we did.
The first step was do everything that we needed to do in the outside world while everything was still open. A lot of businesses and roads shut down in preparation for the hurricane. Get out there early. I mean, a lot of people came to West Marine late and they were like, oh, do you still have water jugs? No, we sold out of that the first day or so.
We went and made sure and got lots of water, lots of bottled water to have enough, if we needed to cook as well as, to drink. We wanted to make sure we had enough food on board for us and the animals. That was also, we kind of almost slipped our mind on that one. We had the last minute run, we were like, oh, dog food, let's go get dog food. We also need to get some extra propane. We were doing warnings at 14 days of prep that you wanted to have available, so we wanted to have at least extra propane to last us through that time. We also got fuel in the vehicles. We filled the vehicles up with gas just to make sure we didn't know if gas stations would be going down or anything like that.
Yeah, a lot of them shut down. They bagged up the pumps and everything in preparation. And another thing which we didn't do is if you have a generator, you want to make sure to get fuel in portable gas tanks. So make sure you have extra fuel for generators and things like that. We have our engine on the boat is basically our generators,
which is diesel fuel.
Yeah, so we had plenty of that. And then one other thing you want to do is get cash out.
So then after we went shopping, we ran to the bank, pulled out a couple $100 to have cash on hand.
Because if businesses are going to open, then they're probably not going to have power. Your ATM cards may not work. So you want to make sure you have cash ready for anything you may need. And then we also moved our car to high ground. So our parking lot floods here at Kehi when the tide's high.
If there's a king tide, it'll flood the parking lot a bit.
Yeah, and so that already floods, and then you've got some swell on top of that. We wanted to make sure that if we needed to leave, that our car was available to drive out of the parking lot. So we moved it to the back of the parking lot where the ground is a little higher.
Yep.
I also got a couple things at West Marine. I got some solar lamps. They're Lucy lights. They are solar powered. And I also picked up a solar flashlight. And then I got us both a white weathered rain jacket just in case we had to come out at night when it was pouring rain and check our lines and things like that. So we had a nice weather jacket to be ready for that. So then we moved on to preparing the outside of the boat, and that included taking everything off the deck that could fly away and tying down anything that we couldn't take off the deck, including like the dog potty. And Pat
got at the mainsail. This line that's the preventer here, this line going here and here, that keeps the mainsail of the boom from swinging back and forth in heavy winds. And we tied up the head sail. And then we took the Bimini down. Then we went on to adding extra lines on the boat.
So we added an extra bow line, an extra stern line, and we added another spring line. So there'd be 2 points at the center of the boat. And then one thing we actually didn't think of that our neighbor brought to our attention was staggering the masts. So when the waves are hitting and the wind's hitting, the boats can actually cross and the mast can hit, and that can create a lot of damage.
So we ended up pushing our boat back about 1.5 feet so that our mast would clear our neighbor's mast.
Yep. And then eventually we folded down the Dodger. The wind had started and we really saw that the Dodger was kind of acting like a sail and it was really heeling the boat over, so we folded that down, which was actually the first time we've ever done that and was a lot easier than we thought.
Came down really well, actually.
We did a few things in the boat also. Charlotte has a collapsible cage and it kind of falls apart into pieces, so I made sure to zip tie all the pieces together. Charlotte is our parrot, in case you didn't know. So in case we had to take the animals and go to our friend's house, that we would be able to just pick up that cage and grab her and basically run. And then we also had a ditch bag ready. So this wasn't a ditch bag for being like lost at sea. This is just our boat's at the dock. This is the ditch bag for surviving a couple days away from home. So I'm going to show you what's in that bag. There were a few things that we had easily accessible if we did have to leave the boat in a hurry. Those items were our chargers, our phone chargers, a couple fully loaded battery packs. We had a couple little clip-on flashlights and a headlamp. And we also have our VHF radio. This is something we have on the boat. It's actually what we monitored all emergency weather channels and things with the entire time before the storm was supposed to hit. And we had our rain jackets ready to grab. And then we have our Columbia dry bag. So this is a weatherproof bag. So if it was pouring rain, that all of our items inside would not get wet. And this dry bag is also conveniently a backpack. We've got our Lucy lights clipped to the outside. And I'm going to show you what's in the bag. We each had a packing cube full of a couple days of clothes. We could probably actually survive off of a week with those. I've already taken some out of mine, so that's why it's so small. We had our toiletries, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, all that kind of fun stuff. A couple things of poop bags for the dogs. We were going to be staying at a friend's house that do not have pets, so we definitely want to be able to clean up after the dogs. Brush. We had our solar flashlight, which is also actually a battery pack. So this is fully charged and it does have a USB outlet on the back of it. So that's kind of cool. We have our electric power lighter. This is like a little zapper. So you can light anything that you need to light. We had bird food in this Taco Bell bag, and we had some dog food in this plastic Tupperware container. We also had important documents. There's actually a lot of personal information in these documents, but basically they are our passports, any birth certificates that we have. We each have birth certificates, and actually we have Pat's kids' birth certificates in here. We also had our cash envelope. We had our boat bill of sale. We had insurance paperwork on the boat. We had our marriage certificate. We had our car pink slip, our boat documentation, the Coast Guard registered documentation, and we also had our harbor docking permit in case we had to come back to the boat. A lot of times they won't let just anybody into certain areas. So they probably wouldn't just let anybody come into the harbor, so we wanted to make sure to prove that our boat was here. So that is everything we did to prepare for the hurricane.
And luckily it became a tropical storm. It was downgraded, so it wasn't that bad. We had some heavy winds and a few surges, but other than that, it wasn't really that bad as, you know, everybody made it out to be.
Yeah, it hit Big Island and Maui pretty hard, the hardest. By the time it got to Oahu, it had downgraded, so that was good news. And I hope this helps you if you find yourself in the same unfortunate situation. And we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.
Mahalo.
We're going to walk you through our steps that we took. That was dumb. I can just edit that out. You didn't. We tied up the sail.
So we tied up the sail and